This famous shop has been serving a much-loved Arabic-style ice cream for decades. But for many Syrians, years of civil war made visiting it impossible, until now. In the wake of Bashar al-Assad's ouster, tens of thousands of Syrians have returned to Damascus. And for some, like Ahmed al-San, visiting the Bekdaash ice cream parlor was a priority.
Excellent. I swear to God, I haven't tasted anything like it.
The secret to this beloved dessert, sahlab, a special flour made from orchid roots. The ice cream is pounded by hand with meter-long mallets until it becomes soft and stretchy. Topped with a generous coating of pistachios, it costs just $1. Co-owner Samir Bekdaash reopened the shop the day after Assad's fall. It was his way of celebrating the end of a government that oppressed Syrians for decades.
The shop is nearly 130 years old. The shop was established in 1895 by the founder of the shop, who is my grandfather, Hamdi Bekdaash. Of course, since 1895, this path was continued by my father. May God have mercy on him, and my uncle too, still present, being very old. Now we are the third generation of the founders of the shop. We are running the store, me, my brother, and my cousins.
He insisted the signature recipe had not changed since his great-grandfather came up with it in 1890.
A wildfire just northwest of Los Angeles on Tuesday forced evacuations, knocked out power, and closed roads. The Franklin fire spread overnight in Malibu near the Pacific Coast Highway that lies along the ocean out of LA. Los Angeles County Fire Chief Anthony Maroney said Tuesday that the blaze was uncontrolled.
The fire is currently estimated at over 2,200 acres, and we have 700 firefighting personnel assigned. Because of the great work of the firefighters that were on scene, we have only a minimal number of homes destroyed. Thankfully, we have no reports of serious injuries or fatalities, and this fire is not contained.
Burned homes smoldered on Tuesday as aircraft dropped red fire retardant on burning vegetation. Local resident Fred Roberts said winds in the area can contribute to fires.
This is a notorious area. The wind's coming straight down Malibu Canyon like a blowtorch. And so they're in harm's way every time there's a fire over there. It's a beautiful area, but you know, with all the trees and the landscaping, it's dangerous. I was going back to check on their homes, and I was actually thinking that it was going to be no big deal, but after I've seen this one and that one there burnt, I know this is the real deal.
Governor Gavin Newsom said California received a grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency for resources to control the fire. The National Weather Service issued a red flag warning due to strong Santa Ana winds. Those winds come down from the southern California's Santa Ana Mountains, blowing hot, dry air from the east and raising the risk of fires. On Tuesday, Pepperdine University near Malibu ended a safety measure that required students to stay in the commons and library overnight due to the fire. It told students to stay on campus and avoid Malibu roads.
Inside this Sao Paulo hospital, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva was recovering after emergency surgery to drain a bleed on his brain linked to a fall in October. On Monday evening, after complaining of a worsening headache during talks with congressional leaders, Lula was taken to a hospital where an MRI scan detected an intracranial hemorrhage. According to doctors, Lula was quickly flown to Sao Paulo for the surgery. The 79-year-old was said to be in stable condition after a successful operation. Here's Lula's physician, Roberto Khalil.
Here in this unit, he underwent surgery to drain the hematoma and cleanse the brain. The president progressed well. He arrived at the surgery practically awake, was intubated, is now stable, talking normally, eating, and will remain under observation for the next few days.
He said Lula would return to Brazil's capital early next week if everything goes well. Doctors ruled out any injury to the brain or neurological complications. But the emergency surgery added to health concerns about the aging leftist president, who is halfway through his third non-consecutive term. Sao Paulo resident Carlos Douglas told Reuters he's worried that if something more serious happens, quote, "I'm sure it will affect the government."
Com certeza vai interferir.
Weak results for his Workers' Party in this year's municipal elections underscored the lack of a clear leftist successor if he chooses not to run for re-election in 2026. Lula has curtailed travel in recent months while doctors monitored his recovery from trauma to the back of the head when he fell at his home in late October, requiring stitches.
This wind turbine was designed entirely by artificial intelligence for a specific location. And that's why, according to its developers at the University of Birmingham, it's up to 7 times more efficient than a traditional turbine at low wind speeds in the city it's intended for.
So it is tailored to be optimally efficient for the specific city it's going to be operating in.
Dr. Kit Windles-Ewell is the Director of Innovation at the university's College of Engineering and Physical Science.
The really exciting part of it is that every minute detail of the geometry of this wind turbine, every twist, every edge, every bend, every angle has been tuned and tweaked by our EvoPhase AI to be as efficient as possible for the specific wind speeds and specific topography of Birmingham, UK, where we're based.
EvoPhase, a university incubator venture, specializes in AI prototyping. The AI was only told that the blades should point upwards. From that point onwards, conventional research and development was abandoned. The software then hones its design from thousands of variations. It was completed in just over a week. Windles-Ewell said the use of AI saves researchers years and millions of dollars in development. And he added that the energy it generates is enough to power an average European home.
This has the potential to be a real green energy revolution.
The team is now working on another design for the very different conditions in Edinburgh. They also want to apply AI-driven design to systems and machines in other sectors, such as catering and chemical manufacturing.
Klarna Bank has been fined $46 million for violating anti-money laundering rules. Sweden's financial regulator said a review of the Buy Now Pay Later company for the year ending March 2022 had found significant deficiencies. These included a lack of assessment of how its services could be used for money laundering or terrorist financing. Klarna is widely expected to go public next year. Last month, it said it had filed paperwork with the US Securities and Exchange Commission for an initial public offering. Sweden's Financial Supervisory Authority said the violations warranted a fine, but were not serious enough to issue a formal warning or to withdraw its authorization. Klarna said the regulator's decision followed a routine review of its compliance with regulations and did not relate to actual cases of money laundering. Another Swedish payments firm, Trustly, received a warning from the regulator in 2021. It led to the company pulling its $11 billion planned IPO.